Hi, I'm MariBeth Tuton, MariBeth Blum-Tuton, reverse painting on glass artist, and this is my guest, Danielle Maloney. She's station manager here at Panda, and we're going to learn reverse painting on glass today. Okay, we have two antique windows already prepared, all cleaned up, and we're going to choose, Danielle's going to choose sunflowers to start with. Sunflowers are or any kind of flowers are easy to paint. You know, when you're starting out, reverse paint on glass, it's easier than more detailed paintings. So here you go, Danielle.
Thank you.
Yep. And I'm going to do a steam train, but I'm going to do it in all different wild colors. I'm going to try something different today, and maybe do in the background. I don't have it with me right this second, but maybe a lighthouse in the background. That would be really cool. We'll see how much time we have today. Okay, so we're going to start with details first. So what I want you to do, Danielle, is see the seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to do little dots of yellow seeds. So we'll start there, and then we'll do the brown seeds and then the white seeds. So we want to start with the detail first.
Do you want me to do the seeds for both of the flowers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be great. When we mix our paints, I like to mix in binder medium. It's like a super glue for paint. So, what we'll do is, here it is, binder medium, Atelier binder medium. Shake it up. What color are you doing first, Daniel?
Oh, I was going to use the yellow for the seeds.
Okay, so I'm going to mix this in with the yellow, just a couple drops, and then stir in the binder medium with the yellow.
With the brush?
Yes. Right now we're using antique windows. That's what I choose to do. If they're already framed, and you just clean them up, and they're beautiful. They're structurally sound and nice. Wavy glass is my favorite. But I also brought different sizes. I also do miniature paintings on glass, small, and then medium size on frames. You can do it on whatever you have, you know. I'll show them to you later after you do it. So I'm going to start with a lighthouse. And the foreground are these railings. Danielle's doing the seeds first because that's the foreground of the painting. So she has to put the paint on the detail first, the seeds. And I'm going to do the railings because that's the first thing you see on this picture of the lighthouse. Have you ever been to art school, Danielle?
Nope.
No? Or taken art classes anytime?
I have taken an art class when I went to Dutchess College. But
Oh,
it was a
okay.
2D design, black and white art class.
Oh, cool.
So we painted shapes in black and white. Wasn't that exciting?
Yeah. Well, even if you've never had any experience, you know, painting or anything, you can learn by just reverse painting on glass, just by using simple colors like red or whatever your favorite colors are. Choose a simple flower or something simple like the moon or something, a nice shape, and then just paint, just start painting and see what comes up of it. And then follow these classes, and then you'll be able to do it. And it's so much fun. And you never know, even myself, I've been doing this for 13 years, well, since 98, so 14 years, and you still don't know what the painting's going to look like till the very end, because it's not like painting on canvas. On canvas it builds up, and you do the background first, and then you layer up, and then the details last, and you can kind of get an idea of what you're doing. But with reverse painting on glass, the whole painting can be done, but then it's still not finished until you put the second layers and the third layers of paint on, and then all of a sudden it comes to life. So each time it's exciting to see the final results. So that's one of my favorite things about reverse painting on glass. So this is the back side of the window. Just so you might not notice that. This is the front of the window. So we're painting on the back side, not the front, just so you know. I'll show you some of my smaller, these are the different sizes. I have little tiny ones, glass, a small bird, and then I have the small, the Hudson Valley and some sailboats. So if you have frames around the house, you could do this size. I'm sure most people have some in their basements or attics. And this side, I just finished this painting for a show. These are flowers and Van Gogh kind of looking flowers. So this, you can choose any size you want. Kind of fun. I just did 21 little small, those 1 by 2 inch paintings. It was fun to do. So, and if you make mistakes, you can use your a razor blade.
Oh, here's yours.
Oh, you
Oh,
have one?
maybe it's mine.
Oh, is that yours?
It's right in the middle.
Okay, thank you. Just say you made a mistake, you can take the razor blade and scrape away and make it a fine line like that. See? It's a trick. And then I use the razor blade more than I use the paintbrush most of the time. It's the most important tool you need for painting on glass. But they do have, if you don't feel comfortable holding it, I'm used to doing it, but they have little single edge razor blade holders that you can use. Get them at the hardware store, they're about $1.50. Also, if you would like to be a guest on my show, you can call Panda, Danielle Maloney at Panda, and say that you're interested, and if you'd like to learn reverse painting on glass, you know, just call the station. That would be great. I would love to have you. Or we would love to have you, can you?
Absolutely.
How's it going, Danielle? Ooh, pretty. Yeah, I like it. Wow, it's good. If you want to see what you're doing, just put your hand over it, and then you'll see how it comes out. The effect is really cool.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it doesn't look like anything until you go like this.
Okay.
Awesome. Good job. See what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Yeah. So also you do the lighter portions of your image first. So you want to capture the light first, and then you add your darker colors next. So I'm doing the light parts of the red first, and then there'll be let's see, darker reds on the left hand side of we'll do that later. And then you want to capture the light first. Now there's a little bit of yellow, a little light on the edge of this window. And if the paint is wet, the red is wet, and you put the yellow next to it, it'll blend in with each other. These two colors will blend. But if you don't want them blended, you have to wait till the red dries and then lay down the yellow. So it all depends on what did the detail first, the little soft, the light that hits the lighthouse. And now I'm gonna get. This is part of the lighthouse that's red. Go straight from that. Okay, we got some more done. We have blended in some darker colors with the light to cause shadow, and we got a lot of detail done. So our next thing is to do more detail on the top of the lighthouse, and she's going to start with her petals. This will go a lot faster now. Her detail of her seeds are done, and the center of her flowers are done. And I got a pretty general shape already started, so this should go easier. And also, when you paint, you should do one thing in relation to the next.
Meaning
The shape, in relationship to the next
shape.
So, in relationship to this shape, it should be, I'll go smaller and then smaller here to the top. And with you, it will go each petal.
So I'll do like the foreground petals and then the background petals?
Yes.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that second flower in the background, we'll do that second.
Okay.
So you can, I'm still working on details. Lots of times you'll be doing your details and you'll get, I always get lots of paint on because I rub into what I've already painted.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful, like, instead of rubbing down, just stick your hand out a little bit so it doesn't ruin what you've already done. You always get paint on it.
Oh, it actually looks a lot better from the other side.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the front is incredible. The back never looks good. No. The back will always look like an abstract painting, and the front will look more realistic or more detailed, and because you're constantly thinking backwards. Now this is a reverse painting. I'm looking at this painting it, but it's going to be the reverse of what I see now when you turn it around. But if you want this to look like this on the front, you'd have to it's called a double reverse, which is I've done many double reverse paintings where you have to reverse it in your head first and then paint it so that when you flip it around, it'll be the reverse image. The detail takes a lot longer, of course, but once you start filling it in with all the colors and the bigger brushes, it starts to come to fruition. It gets more and more exciting as you paint. And don't worry about making mistakes, like you rub your finger into just use your razor blade and scrape it off, like that. Okay, there's a little bit of there.
Oops, I just got paint on me.
So if you want the edges smooth, just go, see this is hardening now. Just go make it nice and smooth. That'll make a nice crisp edge with your razor blade. That's a trick. Make everything crisp. I need to get some white.
Where anyway?
have to be careful with your wrist.
Well, at least we've proven that just about anybody can do this. Because if I can do this, I would think anybody else in the world can.
That's right.
Just have to figure out this right here.
You can take the end of your back of your scrape foot off. Make your edges crisp.
Let's see how that's looking. Not too shabby.
Now
It's looking a little Van Gogh-y.
good. Yeah. It's awesome.
One of my favorite painters, so I can't complain.
I get a little white.
I'm not used to painting without something sketched out down first, so this is like totally out of my element.
And there's another trick too, like if you want lines to be more defined, don't paint right up to the line. Leave a little space there in between the line and in between this little space. And then when it dries, you can lay a darker color there and it makes a more defined line.
Oh.
And it makes it more realistic. So I'm not going to go all the way to the, I want to leave a tiny line. See what I mean? See that tiny line in between the white and the blue?
That makes sense. It's not something you would think about normally.
No, because when you do the, it's all about what you're going to do. I mean, what it's going to look like in the future. But also, if you forget to leave a space, you can always go back and scrape in the line. But it's easier to do it this way first. That's the easier way to do it, I found. We're starting to fill in. The details we're doing details and filling in at the same time. As we go along. And you're expanding your petals.
I am. That was a little tiny to me.
Yeah.
So, and I'm also making the second layer of them too.
Oh, good. Yeah. That looks nice. So I put in, when you do shadows, the gray shadows, it looks really cool when you look at the other side. I'll show you. That's what I like to do. Oops. The shadows of the light. It's important to get light, shadows and light. Makes it look more realistic. I like the shadow. I like that though. Just to show you what I'm doing. You can flip yours around too at some point. Ready?
Yeah, when I finish up these petals, I certainly will.
You were talking about famous painters like Van Gogh and Dali, Salvador Dali.
Right.
I had mentioned in I think my first episode, there were many famous artists who tried reverse painting on glass. And the one who loved it the most was Kandinsky. And he filled his whole house with his reverse painting on glass paintings. He loved them. He loved painting, and I have some rare books on reverse painting on glass that I got off the internet. And they describe how he felt about the feeling it gives him when you paint on glass. It's so exciting. I had the same feeling when I first touched my brush to glass. There's nothing like it. It's hard to explain. Oh, looks great. Yeah, that's nice. Wow, looks great against the white.
It's not bad, right?
It's wonderful. And then when you fill in that green with the yellow, that's even gonna pop out even more.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Good job, Danielle.
Thanks, MariBeth.
Really nice. I think the whole goal of having this show was to enlighten people to say, this isn't, an impossible art form, painting on glass. It's actually quite nice. It's not as hard as it looks. It does take practice, but there's so much beauty in the paint against the glass. It's powerful. And I would love for people to try it, instead of saying, oh, it looks impossible. I get that a lot, But really, anybody can do it, And I would love for people to try it. So I'm trying to give ideas, it could be on plexiglass or like I said earlier, but just try it on a little frame in your house if you have one, and Windex, clean it with Windex, let it dry, and then just take paint and try a little something. Now, mind you, this is just the first layer of paint, and it doesn't look like much. But when you put the second layer of paint, the second layer will be other colors that affect the colors in front of it, and it'll deepen the colors and that's what makes it beautiful. So we're gonna, right now it may not look as exciting. But it does become exciting at the end. Hi again. I added a sunken ship, and I'm working on the sandbars now with more painterly brush strokes. And I signed my name backwards. Okay. And I'll be working on the sky next after the sandbar. Okay, I'm going to be working on the sandbar in a more painterly, impressionist kind of, with a little yellow ochre, a little bit of color in there. I want to add a little bit of green, just a touch of green. So it gives a hint of some foliage, some grass. I signed my name here backwards, and it's still a little wet, so I'm going to go around it. I don't want to smudge it. I just go around. Now I'm going to work on the sky. The sky could be, not just blue, it could be pinks and purples, and depending on the mood of the. So I wonder what I'm going to do. Let me try something new. You can go right over the background of that railing. I use a bigger brush. When you're doing the sky, you want to get the whole thing at once while it's wet, so it's the sky gradients nicely. And you could put white clouds in, although
There's a little bit of red there, right?
put some cumulus clouds in there. The sky always has, it's never blue. The sky has lots of color in it. Edward Hopper always said the sky's never blue. It's filled with color, like pinks and yellows and purples and greens. And so if you want a really beautiful sky, you add color. Now this is still wet, so we want to add the yellow's still wet. I'm going to add some pink sky. Go over the railing because that's all. See how that looks in a minute. I don't want to touch the clouds yet. We'll see what. I'll leave a little space in between them. I'm just going to look around to see if I like it. Yeah, it's pretty. And then we'll turn it into a little bit more. I'm going to do a little bit more pink. Okay. Go around the cloud. And then the sky will get even darker pink. When you're doing perspective, the highest point is always darker, and the lowest point is darker, and everything in between, in the center is the lightest. Gives you the perfect perspective. So it's dark in the front, and dark in the bottom, dark in the top, and then lightest in the center. And that pulls your eye deeper into the painting. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to add a little orange and then magenta. Make it more dramatic. We're just filling in where there's glass. You can see glass. Okay. Now, originally I was going to do a blue sky, so I have to change that. I'm going to take this out with my razor blade. While it's still it'll make a nice crisp edge. You do this a lot with the you use the razor blade a lot when you're because things constantly changing. We'll usually use cerulean blue for the sky. That's the typical blue that you would use, but if you want to add color to your sky, you can. And then very lightly go over your name so you don't smudge it. Like that. Okay, good. Okay, that's our first layer. So that's what we want. Let's see. It's pretty. So this is the first layer of paint. I'm going to wait. I'm going to put it in the sun, let it dry, and then I'll come back and we'll do the second layer of paint. Okay, thanks. Hi, Danielle.
Hey, Mary.
Danielle's worked very hard to get her first layer almost finished. She just has the background to do. My first layer's done, but I see parts of bits of glass that I can see through. So I have to put my second layer of paint on, which we'll be doing it simultaneously. And we're going to be working on that now. Okay?
All right.
I'm going to turn mine around.
So MariBeth, you
Yes.
just want me to fill in all the glass, not to touch these lines at all, right? With
Right.
the blue that I'm going to be putting in.
Yes, not yet, because
Okay.
the second layer of paint, the second color that covers the first color will affect the first color. So you don't want to put the wrong color behind, you don't want to put a dark color behind the yellow because it'll come out muddy, and yeah, you don't want that. So you want to cover the whole thing first, and then go back and put your second layers of paint on very carefully. Now, these paintings have already baked in the sun. Before we do the second layer of paint. So, there's still a few pieces of glass showing through right here. I want to fill them in with the same color. So like a light peach. And then just smooth out some of the color that you. Our paintings have dried in the sun, and now Danielle is going to lay in her first layer of paint in the squigglies with a darker blue, but not too much darker, so it'll give a nice soft look. And then she will cover her sunflowers with yellows and then make them deeper colors in the front. And I'm going to start with my third layer of paint. Anything that looks remotely thin, I'm going to work on right now. Okay?
Done my squigglies, MariBeth.
Yay. We'll turn around and see the other side. Great. Look how nice that looks, how they pop out.
Yeah.
Because they're nice and crisp.
Those
This
will
paint
work.
dried first before you put it on.
Right.
Really
Cool.
looks nice. I like it a lot.
Okay, now what? That's the question.
Okay. Now we're going to go over the flowers.
Okay.
You see little bits of glass shining through?
Yep.
They all have to be covered,
Okay.
but everything has to be covered, but especially those areas.
Okay.
So we're gonna get yellow ochre. It's probably the best for the.
And would I put it in the center as well as the flowers?
Yeah, you want to do darker color in the center
Okay.
so that it'll pop out.
Okay. So MariBeth has me working on the second layer of paint here, and it's coming along pretty smoothly. It's a little easier than the first layer of paint, I feel like.
Yep. The first layer is always more challenging.
Now I can pretty much just do. And I see the glass coming through around this flower, so I'm going to make sure to fill that all in.
Okay.
Just like you said. I'm going to take a look around the other side too, just to see.
Okay, this is great because Danielle just almost finished her second layers of paint. She added second layer of gradated green to make it more darker on the other side, not more stemmy looking, and she did darker on one side and lighter on the other side on both stems, and she did the clouds and also the dark, which when we turn this around is amazing how they pop out, the centers of these flowers, how they pop out. You want to turn it around, Daniel?
Sure.
Look how great they look. She had scraped into this flower and then waited for it to dry and then painted over the yellow. Look how it pops out right there. And this is also, look how beautiful and detailed with the orange coming through. And then she scraped in for the squigglies. And look how that pops out and adds more style and dimension to the painting. And she's also scraped into the leaves. And each one is just beautiful.
Thanks, MariBeth.
Very, very nice. Hi again. Danielle did a beautiful job doing several layers of paint until it was completely opaque. And now the flowers are really bold, the colors are bold, and you can tell what a difference, from when we first started. And we painted the frames nice and crisp, so it's all done. We razor bladed the glass, and we also backed the paintings with material and put the hardware on. The foam core is inside with other material, and that was demonstrated on episode 2 of the reverse painting on glass classes. And so we're all set. It looks nice and crisp, and they're all ready to hang. And
They're beautiful.
yeah, you did a great job, Danielle.
Thanks,
So proud of
Amanda.
you.
And thanks for teaching me. It was exciting.
Sure.
And if anybody else wants to learn how to do it, just give us a call or an email. You can call us at 845-757-2632, or you can email at info@pandatv23.org.
That's excellent. Thank you so much.
And thanks for watching.
Okay, have a great time.
Bye.
Bye.